Today, we're diving into something fresh from the world of Samsung, leaked renders of the Galaxy S25 Plus, the middle child of the highly anticipated Galaxy S25 series. With the official launch still months away, this leak is getting people excited. So, what's new? What can we expect? Let's get into it. Another Galaxy S25 model has been leaked, and this time, it's the Galaxy S25 Plus, thanks to the folks over at Android Headlines. If you remember, they also recently leaked renders of the base Galaxy S25 model just a week ago. So we now have a pretty good idea of what to expect from the entire Galaxy S25 lineup. Let's talk design. The Galaxy S25 Plus doesn't offer any massive surprises compared to its predecessor, the Galaxy S24 Plus. The overall dimensions of the phone are very similar, and the device is slightly thinner, just like the base S25 model. Samsung seemed to have reached a sweet spot with the display size and bezel thickness, as those aspects remain unchanged from last year. For those hoping for slimmer bezels, don't expect any major changes here. Samsung already gave us that with the Galaxy S24 series. But one area where Samsung is making some tweaks is the back design. The Galaxy S25 series will feature textured camera rings, which are similar to what we've seen on the Galaxy Z Fold 6. These new textured rings will give the camera area a unique, more refined look. However, the double-layer design that's rumored to appear on the base and Plus models wasn't included in these leaked renders, so we'll have to wait and see if that's confirmed later. The camera department is always a hot topic when it comes to new Galaxy phones. While we don't have full details yet, the Galaxy S25 Plus renders show some subtle changes. The most notable difference is the camera rings, but the arrangement and overall look seem to be a continuation of what Samsung has been doing for the past few generations. We'll likely see improvements in camera performance, especially with software optimization, but physically, things are drastically different. As for performance, the big question on everyone's mind is which chipset will power the Galaxy S25 Plus. Will Samsung stick with Snapdragon, or will they bring back Exynos in some markets? According to this latest leak, the Exynos 2500 is still in play for certain regions, while other markets might get the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 chipset. At this point, it's too early to know for sure, and we probably won't get a clear answer until closer to the launch. It's also worth noting that Samsung has a habit of using different chipsets depending on the region, so don't be surprised if we get both Exynos and Snapdragon models. While this might not sit well with some fans, it's something Samsung has done for years. Now let's talk about something that's more of a design philosophy shift. Samsung's Ultra models have always stood out because of their sharp rectangular design. You can spot a Galaxy Ultra from a mile away. The S25 Ultra might be changing that though. Rumors suggest that Samsung could revert to more rounded edges for the Ultra models, which might take away that aggressive, monolithic look we've come to love. If the Ultra model does go for rounded edges, Samsung risks blending in with other phone brands that also lean towards softer, more ergonomic designs. It reminds me of how gaming console controllers eventually all started to look similar due to ergonomic needs. While rounded edges might make the Galaxy S25 Ultra more comfortable to hold, I'm sure some fans will miss that bold, edgy look that made it stand out. Still, whether we love or hate it, ergonomics matter. But for those of us who appreciate the unique design, it might be a tough pill to swallow. Before we wrap up, here's a quick update on some other Samsung products to keep on your radar. Long before we see the Galaxy S25 series officially launched, Samsung will be rolling out its next generation of flagship tablets. Solid performance. So there you have it. The Galaxy S25 Plus renders give us a glimpse of what's coming, and while the design changes are subtle, they're still worth talking about. But what are your thoughts? Do you like the idea of textured camera rings and a potential double-layer design? And how do you feel about Samsung possibly rounding the edges on the Ultra model? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. That's it for today. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. As always, see you in the next video. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will succeed the iPhone 15 Pro Max and take on the mantle as the best and most advanced iPhone out there. Although there's plenty of time until September and a lot can change, we seem to know a lot about the upcoming top iPhone model based on rumors and leaks. How is the iPhone 16 Pro Max shaping up against its predecessor? What's changing and what's staying the same? Let's see how the iPhone 16 Pro Max shapes up against the current best iPhone Apple has in its roster. First up, let's talk about design and size. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will inherit the same design language as the iPhone 15 Pro Max, employing the same titanium frame with a completely flat screen. The major difference between the iPhone 16 Pro Max and the iPhone 15 Pro Max will be size. The upcoming iPhone screen will grow to 6.9 inches across, a significant bump over the iPhone 15 Pro Max's 6.7-inch display. To achieve this, they're likely shrinking the bezels down even further and making the phone itself slightly larger overall. As per the rumors, the iPhone 16 Pro Max will measure 163mm in height and 77.58mm in width versus 159.9mm and 76.7mm for the iPhone 15 Pro Max, respectively. A small but notable change, all things considered. The iPhone 15 Pro Max debuted with an action button instead of a mute switch and a USB Type-C port at the bottom, so those two features will be carrying over to the newer model as well. However, the iPhone 16 series will be scoring another button, dubbed the capture button. Colors-wise, the iPhone 15 Pro Max was available in 4 understated and titanium-inspired colors. We've heard that Apple might use another titanium processing technique that will make the iPhone 16 Pro Max glossier and also more capable of retaining colors. Moving on to display differences. As mentioned, the iPhone 16 Pro Max will come along with a significantly larger display, measuring at 6.9 inches across. Aside from the size, we don't clearly expect any other major changes. We're certainly getting a liquid Retina XDR display with an OLED panel delivering superb colors, contrast, and exceptional maximum brightness. The screen will support 120Hz ProMotion refresh rate, making scrolling through the interface and on-screen content way smoother. Now let's delve into performance and software. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will feature a second-generation 3nm chip, possibly dubbed Apple A18 Pro. As one can imagine, we expect that the Apple A18 Pro will have better performance than the Apple A17 Pro. Due to the heavily rumored focus on AI for both iOS and the iPhone 16 range, we expect that the iPhone 16 Pro Max will come with a much improved neural engine to take care of all the generative AI features. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will also be a first to debut iOS 18 with a focus on artificial intelligence features. The new iPhone 16 Pro Max will also support faster Wi-Fi 7 and a more power-efficient 5G modem, keeping you future-proofed on the connectivity front. Let's talk about the camera. As the iPhone 15 Pro Max delivers a host of important camera features, chief among which is the new 120mm telephoto lens, the iPhone 16 Pro Max could finally address one of the forgotten cameras that hasn't recently scored any significant overhauls, the ultra-wide. Analyst Ming-Chi Kuo believes that Apple will be introducing a 48-megapixel ultra-wide camera on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. When it comes to audio quality, iPhone Pro Max devices are always up there with the best, setting the benchmarks for all other manufacturers to measure up against. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will be no exception. The same generally applies to haptics too. iPhones are arguably the best devices when it comes to haptic feedback, giving us precise and accurate vibrations that are sufficiently strong yet not overpowering. Lastly, battery life and charging. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will reportedly feature a much larger 4,676 mAh battery compared to the 4,422 mAh battery in the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Charging-wise, we haven't heard anything about a potential charging speed increase, but we hope to see one on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So far, the iPhone 16 Pro Max is shaping up to be a logical improvement to the iPhone 15 Pro Max, delivering key upgrades in important areas like screen size, performance, AI, and battery life. Thus far, we haven't heard anything particular about a potential price increase, so it's safe to assume that the iPhone 16 Pro Max will start at $1,199 for the 256GB version. Of course, if there's an iPhone 15 Pro Max in your pocket, then you'll probably have few reasons to upgrade to the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Stay tuned for more updates on the iPhone 16 Pro Max as we get closer to its release date. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the latest tech news and reviews. Thanks for watching. Until next time.